Well, hey guys, this is Josh Nelson with the Seven Figure Agency, and I just wanted to shoot this quick video to address one of the questions I got in the Facebook group, which was, kind of what was your background? How did you wind up, in your digital marketing agency, and why are you running this Seven Figure Agency training program? And so I thought I'd just kind of unpack that a little bit. Oftentimes, when you see someone like this, you think they've always had success, and they're just kind of things have been going for them smoothly from day one. And the fact is, I started my first digital marketing agency, web design and hosting company, right out of high school. I called it Develicom, and it was a web design hosting company. And I was super excited. I was super pumped, and I gave it my very best. Right, I gave it 110%, worked 40, 60 hours every single week, cold calling, network meetings, BNI. And after 2 years, I had to shut the business down. It was just a total failure. As a matter of fact, after all of that time, after all of that energy, I never even made enough money to pay myself a personal income. Literally, every dollar I got was reinvested back into the business. I would have made a lot more money had I worked at Starbucks or Best Buy or something like that. And the worst part is that I borrowed money from my dad in order to start this business. My parents are missionaries. I grew up in a missionary family, and I borrowed $10,000 from my dad to start the company. And it was a big ask. It was a big investment on his end. And it was one of the hardest things I had to do after all of that, to go to him and say, hey, I appreciate you believing in me. I appreciate you investing in me, but I'm not going to be able to return this money. It just didn't work. And so at that point in my life, when I had to shut the business down, after all of that work, after all of that effort, I kind of believed it wasn't for me. Like, I'm just never be successful. I'm just gonna have a regular job, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And so I went to work. I found a business development job at Laysan, and then I worked at ADP and spent some years learning business development, how to sell business to business clients. And I was always a big student of the game. Since I had a long commute, I listened to Audible books, audible.com, and I would listen to audio trainings while I drove. And like, two books really had a major impact on me. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which I'm sure you guys have all read that, and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And Rich Dad always tells you have to build assets, and the best way to build assets is to have your own business. And so does T. Harv Eker from Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. But one thing stuck with me from T. Harv Eker's book, and that was, you don't have to necessarily start the business right out of the gates. You can work somewhere in the type of business you want to be in. And I knew I wanted to be in internet marketing. I knew I wanted to have a digital marketing agency of some sort. And so I researched, and I found a company that was doing really well, and that was Reach Local. They're doing about $500 million per year in revenue. They were on the Inc. 500 list. And I was like, man, I'm going to get to work with them. And so I applied, and I did everything I could. I landed a job there, worked there for a couple of years, and learned a lot. Like, I learned the right business model. Like, I had a terrible business model, which is the reason my business failed. I learned about recurring revenue. I changed my belief in what people were willing to pay for internet marketing services. And I learned a lot. I learned how to sell to those types of clients. And, armed with that information and kind of a little bit of frustration that my clients weren't getting a great result, I decided it was time to go back out on my own. And I remember sitting down with my wife, it was actually New Year's Eve, and telling her, hey, I'm ready to start my own company again. And her complete resistance to the concept. She was like, you gotta be kidding me. We've got a steady income now. Don't do this, right? And I really had to convince her to give me another shot, to let us invest in our family in this and build this business that could potentially support our family, support our lifestyle, and support our dreams. And so kind of fast forward from that point to where we're at today. Our agency did $4 million last year, doing about $370,000 per month in recurring revenue, and made the Inc. 5000 list the last 3 years in a row. And so I share this story, kind of just so you know, like, what the background is. Maybe you've experienced this, or you're experiencing this right now in your business, where it's like, man, I'm doing everything. I'm making the cold calls. I'm sitting in the BNI meetings. I'm reading the books, but I'm just not getting the results. And it could be that you've got the wrong business model. It could be that just something in the way that you're operating needs to change. And if that's you, I want to invite you to join me in a group. I call it the Local Agency Success Group. Completely free of charge. It's a Facebook group. And I'm basically taking my best learnings on, how we were able to transition from a failed business to a successful digital marketing agency, growing on a consistent basis. And that really supplies for my family, supplies for my team, and gives me really the desires of my life in terms of a business equation. And so I'd like to invite you to join me in that Facebook group. Again, it's free. Go to sevenfigureagency.com/group. Go there, request access. I'll get you added to the group right away. And I promise you, I'll be sharing some of my best ideas and strategies with you to help you take your agency to the next level as quickly as possible. So thanks for joining me on this quick video. Hopefully it was insightful. Hopefully it was encouraging for you. If nothing else, kind of gives you hope that, even if you're struggling right now, even if things aren't where you want them to be, if you keep pressing forward and you get things right, you can accomplish your goals and hit your dreams. So thanks for joining me. Go to sevenfigureagency.com/group or click the link below. I look forward to seeing you in there and helping you take your business to the next level. I'll talk to you soon.